guys, hi, this is McQueen from Battle First Aid Responder Services here in the downtown Boston Commons. I have a young man today to meet. What is your name? Your first name? Jeffrey. So Jeffrey, I had a good conversation to Jeffrey about COVID as well as in the homeless community and how it has impacted him, and what I've met him on several occasions here at a lot of events here in the Boston area, and pretty much I just wanted to relate to him um, how has what resources are out there available for homeless people, and how has COVID impacted him. So I'm pretty much going to ask him a couple of questions about the COVID pandemic, how it has impacted him today, as well as pretty much reaching out to other people here in the community, and also a couple questions about mental health. So thank you, Jeffrey, for having me today. I really do appreciate you.
No problem.
I'm going to ask you just some brief questions about COVID, and pretty much how has your response to it. So you're out here today. You're a young man. What are your pronouns? What are your pronouns? Jeffrey. Okay, so he heard. So pretty much, I'm out here in the community. I just pretty much wanted to know, how has COVID, the pandemic, really impacted you primarily with work, with job, and resources? How has COVID really impacted you?
Honestly, COVID affected a lot of people.
Mm-hmm.
Like majority the businesses took a huge hit.
Mm-hmm.
It hasn't been really been a good 2 years. Just sitting in the house, doing nothing with limited things to do, and trying to keep yourself safe is just a difficult task. To try to maintain it.
And so have you lost any friends or loved ones or anybody that you know have died due to the pandemic? Have you lost anybody in particular?
Yes, I have, I've had a few close relationships with elderlies and stuff. I met them, that meant a lot to me.
Mm-hmm.
And who passed away due to the COVID, and it was sad to see them go. It was terrible. It don't need to be sorry. It's just sometimes that's just life. You never know when God is ready to call you.
Were they close to you, or were they close to the people that passed away? Were they really close to you?
I've gotten to know them better by interacting with them.
Mm-hmm.
If it's work or if it's everyday life event. If I see you, I'm gonna say hi, things like that, or we could have a conversation, things like that. But other than that, I work in the industry where I met some older elderly who meant a lot to me. Come to find out people passed away, and I'm like, oh my God, she was just such, he was a good dude or something, Mm-hmm. I just hate to see people go that way.
Mm-hmm. Well, again, I do apologize that you lost some close friends that were dear to you. And being in the medical community, death and grieving can be hard for somebody. For a lot of people, especially dealing with mental health,
right,
dealing with death and grieving, as well as in general, it's really hard to deal with the loss of your loved one, especially as well as with a pandemic that has affected a lot of people nationwide.
Exactly.
In the city of Boston, how long have you lived here in Boston?
Let's say 18 years now.
Mm-hmm. 18 years?
Yeah.
Okay. All your life? Most of your life?
Most of my life.
And most of your family's from here?
Yeah.
So do you think that the city of Boston is one of the best places that has pretty much helped survive the pandemic? Do you think that Boston has really done as much as it can?
There's only so much that we could do,
Mm-hmm.
but I had to give where credit is due. Boston did did a good job, trying to keep us safe,
Mm-hmm.
certain stuff. It was just like Boston was pretty much just the mayor itself was just trying to make sure everybody followed the guidelines,
Mm-hmm.
certain rules. it's just like I find that very helpful, is because it was just like not only that you showed me, like not only that you showed us that you care about our health, when you also showed us that we can trust you as well too. With like, okay, so like, if he's telling us, or like they telling us, like, we can't go out, stay at home.
Exactly.
It's
They're doing
better
it for
for
a
us.
reason. It's better for us. So you've learned how to abide by government regulations, knowing that it is best for you.
Exactly.
So you are healthy.
Yeah.
Did you ever test positive for COVID-19? Did you ever contract it? I mean, it's a lot of people have. Have you personally survived contacted COVID and survived?
Honestly, I did catch it in the beginning of when it started. It was due to because of where I was working at that time. I was working at a like a nursing home at that time, so it's like it was, for me, it was easier to catch it because I'm working with elderlies and stuff like that. So when I caught it, like I wasn't even aware. I was just like, like I knew it was just like one time I just couldn't eat or anything like that. Like I wasn't hungry, so I was just like, what's going on? And come to find out, like how I knew I got it is when they tested everybody, and mine came out like negative, or like positive. I think positive. At that point, that's when my boss was like, you know what, you gotta stay home for 2 weeks. Blah blah blah. I was like, oh my god, it was a terrible experience, to be honest. But now I don't have it.
So you pretty much you survived the pandemic. You survived COVID.
Yeah.
And have you survived COVID as well as the pandemic? And what do you think is the difference between the two? Surviving the pandemic, which is the economy, as well as everything else that's going on, versus personally going through COVID-19 yourself and your own difficult problems and situations.
No, I'm lucky that I've survived, COVID, just because, like, after hearing all the side effects and like seeing people die, because of that, it kind of got me scared. At one point, I was like, oh my god, like, what if today's my last day type of thing, like seeing people dropping left and right, that kind of got me nervous until I was just like, you know what, that, until I started taking medicine, I was like, you know what, let me not be paranoid about it, because
Exactly.
more,
it's nothing to be afraid of.
Exactly. So it's like, that's why I was like, you know what, like, if I could, like, I can overcome this, and there's a lot of people that overcame it, so why can't I?
Okay.
And
Well, good. And just one more last question. What, in your opinion, this has been a life-changing situation for a lot of people going through this pandemic, surviving this, having businesses closed down, people losing homes, people being evicted from their homes, people have loved ones have passed away. In general, this pandemic has affected a lot of people, but you are still surviving today. So thank you, that. What can you tell the viewers today, as well as my YouTube subscribers, the Facebook, people out there that you want them to know personally about being you're African American, obviously, a young man dealing with COVID-19, the pandemic, as well as race relations? How has this pandemic been able for you to deal with race relations, police brutality, as well as trying to survive and get up on your own? So I'll leave that for the last question.
With, like, I'm grateful this pandemic is happening, is because it's opening so many people's eyes to, like, where to a point is just like it's letting us like it's time to take a stand, like seeing like how white people are fighting for black justice now. That used to never happen before, what I mean? It was just like it kind of like got to their head, like, okay, this is something serious, that what I mean, like it brought us together to a point where it's like not only help us fight justice, also help us, as a community. You know what I mean? Like, black men been dealing with a lot of racism. So, seeing like white people going around and you doing like, protests, that kind of like raised a raise a stand like, oh, so so this is what they like we never used to see that before.
Exactly.
So now something I'm like, because they see us doing that, we kind of made a difference about it. You know what I mean? Like, okay, so like kind of got them thinking like, yo, this been going on for so long. Why hasn't anything changed? Things like that. So it was just like, and also the COVID also made a lot of foreigners scared too as well. Because coming from a different country or a different background, like of course of course people are going to get scared about it. Like I said, of course people are going to be scared about it. Is because it's like COVID is something that we never heard of. You know what I mean?
Exactly. As well as race relations. A lot of people have heard of police brutality a lot of the time, at the same time them having to deal with it face to face to face.
Right, so it was like COVID was something that we never heard of. Like, yeah, like there's been like, other viruses, but they never really lasted that long. You know what I mean? So it was like, it kind of surprised us, like, we have a virus that lasts that long, it has to be science. Now we gotta take it serious now. Now we can't be like, oh, you know what I mean? It's just like, it kind of got people like paranoid and like, like I've seen it to a point where it's just like, if someone touches somebody or it's just like, it's so quick to right there. I'm like, oh,
exactly.
Like he wasn't doing that before the pandemic. You know what I mean? It's just like now it's just like it's something that we got to be so cautious of because it's still here.
And we're still here, so we got always going to be cautious of COVID as well as dealing with police brutality, and that is something that we all got to address somewhere.
Exactly. We won't stop fighting for justice until it's here, man. Because it's like this been going on for so long, man. I feel like it's about damn time black people get justice for all the killing white people been doing, man.
Okay. Well, thank you, Jeffrey, for your time. This is Jeffrey here in the city of Boston, young man. This is Looking Battle from Battle First Aid Responding Services responding live to doing my COVID report here over the last year in different cities from all over the United States, and primarily now here in the city of Boston, which has done a lot for COVID reform and a lot for justice and social justice issues. Thank you, Jeffrey, for your time. I really do appreciate you coming out to hang out with me here at the Boston Commons today, and hopefully your message will get out to those who pretty much want to know that it's something that you can face, and that COVID has helped people to overcome.
Of course,
it has helped people have overcome this issue.
I mean,
but it's still not over.
Yeah, of course.
It's still not over.
Definitely, the fight is still going on. But I don't know how long this is going to go, but hopefully, I'm hoping this doesn't last another 2 years or so. I'm ready to have some fun. I'm ready to have some fun, man. It's been 2 years without nothing.
Okay, thank you, Jeffrey.
No problem.
This is Laclea from Battle First Aid Responding Services here at Boston Commons. Thank you, guys.